All right, let's dive into something that I'm pretty sure every single developer has felt, the absolute headache of API testing. We're also going to look at a really clever tool called DevTools that offers a whole new way to make that process unbelievably smooth.
Ah, yes, the classic developer nightmare, isn't it? You know that sinking feeling when an API call that was working perfectly on your machine just breaks the second it hits production? It's got to be one of the most frustrating, time-wasting problems out there. And if that sounds familiar, it's because in that moment you really are flying blind. You're just left guessing. What were the exact parameters? Did an auth token expire? How do I even begin to reproduce the exact request that's failing? It's just a frustrating guessing game that eats up so much valuable time. So let's just go ahead and put a name to it. This whole mess is the API testing headache. It's that painful gap between the safe, controlled world of your browser and the wild, unpredictable world of production where things just mysteriously fall apart. So here's the absolute heart of the problem. You're trying to manually recreate that exact perfect request. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. You've got to get every single parameter right, every weird header, and especially those tricky authentication tokens that expire on you. Get one tiny detail wrong, and you're right back where you started.
But what if you didn't have to recreate it at all? What if you could just press record on what actually happened? This brings us to the key that unlocks this whole new workflow, the HAR file.
Now, if you haven't used one before, a HAR file, that stands for HTTP archive, is basically a perfect digital recording of your browser's network activity. As you're clicking around a web app, a HAR file is capturing it all. The URLs, the headers, the request bodies, the tokens, the responses. It's a complete transcript of the conversation, captured automatically. No more guesswork. And this is exactly where DevTools comes in. It's a tool that's purpose-built to take one of these HAR files and, almost like magic, turn that raw browser session into a visual, reusable, and most importantly, an automated and testable API flow. What you end up with is something that genuinely feels like a magic workflow. It's this brilliantly simple, four-step process that takes you from a real user clicking around your app directly to an automated test that you can run anywhere.
Here's how simple the whole thing is. 1, you just use your app, reproduce the bug, and save a HAR file right from your browser's DevTools. 2, you literally just drag that file into the DevTools Studio and boom, it builds a visual flow of all the API calls. 3, you export that flow to a clean, human-readable YAML file. And 4, you run that file using the command line right in your CI/CD pipeline. Record, flow, YAML, CI. That's it.
Now here's the really smart part. DevTools can see what's happening. It sees that a login request returns an auth token, and it automatically extracts that token and injects it into the headers of all the next requests that need it. This automatic mapping of variables is a huge time saver. No more tedious manual copy and pasting.
You know, this whole approach isn't just about making one person's life easier. It's really designed from the ground up to fit perfectly into a modern, collaborative team workflow. It's built to be Git-friendly and CI-ready right out of the box.
So let's break down what that actually means for your team. First, it's local first. Everything happens on your machine. No cloud account needed, no data getting sent to third parties. That's fantastic for speed and security. Second, it's Git reviewable. Since the flows are just YAML files, you commit them to your repo. So when a teammate adds a new API test, you can see exactly what's changing in a pull request. It helps kill that whole works on my machine problem for good. And finally, it's CI ready. The command line tool just works, giving you the exit codes and reports you need to slide it right into GitHub Actions, Jenkins, or whatever you're using.
Okay, so you might be wondering, how does this stack up against tools you already use, like Postman or Bruno? Well, the key difference really comes down to their core philosophy. And this really shows the split. DevTools is all about being local first and Git native. It treats your tests like code. They live and evolve right alongside your application in your repository. A lot of other tools out there are more cloud-centric and UI-driven, which often means dealing with accounts, syncing, and a much heavier process to get things working in your CI/CD pipeline. Let's get specific. That HAR-to-flow capability, that's the magic trick we talked about, and honestly, it's the core differentiator. No other tool on this list does that. Same goes for exporting clean, reviewable YAML. And when it comes to speed, especially in CI where every second costs money, the DevTools runner is Go-based and runs requests in parallel. That makes it significantly faster than its JavaScript-based cousins. And I'm not talking about a small difference. User reports are suggesting it can be up to 5 times faster than an alternative like Bruno. In a CI pipeline where every second counts, that is a massive, massive advantage.
So let's just quickly recap the big points here. DevTools gives you a direct solution to that dreaded "it works on my machine" problem by capturing real traffic. It turns those browser sessions into automated tests almost instantly, saving you hours of painful debugging. It's built for modern Git and CI/CD workflows, and it's a super fast, local-first alternative to a lot of the heavy, cloud-based tools on the market.
So here's the final thought. We've seen the friction of the old way, and we've seen the super streamlined code-native approach offered here. The real question isn't just, is it time to rethink your API workflow, but what could you and your team build with all the time you'd save? This might just be the upgrade your entire development process has been waiting for.